Hello and welcome back to another Bad Movie Reviews review hosted by your favourite cat from down under, Ben. Now, I do apologise. I know it's been a while since my last review, which I think was Nosferatu. I'm back, been away for a little bit, been unwell. But without further ado, we are back, and I thought, what better way to start off the year than covering a film a lot of people are intrigued by, being it is an entry into the MCU, and that is none other than Captain America Brave New World. Now, this film is directed by Julius Onah, who, to be honest, is very, very similar cases to what it is for most other Marvel films when they start off in the MCU, and that's that not very familiar with the work. I know he did the Cloverfield Paradox, I think it was called, which was the Netflix spin off of um, in the Cloverfield universe, but he is directed this film, and in terms of the plot, obviously you've seen the trailers, it pretty much picks up right after Captain America and the Winter Soldier Disney Plus show. And you obviously find Sam in the situation that he is now, Cap, basically, and dealing with Harrison Ford's introduction to the MCU as none other than President Thaddeus Ross. And yeah, without further ado, I'll get straight into the review. I saw this relatively packed theatre, and I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. The previous Marvel films over the past few years have been hit and miss, and based on online consensus, that tends to be the standard feeling towards it at the moment. I know, obviously, Fantastic Four trailer came out recently, which looked fantastic, and Thunderbolts, which even looks good. And this is one of those films that I think a lot of people were curious about just because it had so many reshoots. Obviously, you don't have Chris Evans as Steve Rogers, so you're losing that, um, that anchor in the MCU, pun intended, being the anchor beam, but also obviously a character and an actor that people know and love in that role. But I'm happy to say Anthony Mackie, I thought, was really, really good in this film. Overall, I thought the cast in general was really good. You've obviously got Harrison Ford. He was fantastic and brought his typical anger into the film. But overall, I feel like all the introductions into the film, character wise and actor wise, were all really good. Anthony Mackie definitely is a standout, and I think sort of elevates the film to an extent with his performance. However, you can only elevate it so far, unfortunately, due to the choppy editing and the pacing, which does take a while for the film overall to land its feet. And I think while the action's fine, I think the film looks fine. I feel like this is one of those films that people will enjoy, but it really could have been like a Disney Plus movie or even a TV show. It just felt very much like a throwaway, and actually just felt like it was tying up loose ends in the MCU. It very much felt, and it very much almost is, a sequel to The Incredible Hulk back from 2008, and even Eternals, because you've obviously got the Celestial that it tackles, which is obviously in the trailer. So it very much felt like a sequel to that, and I feel like Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson as Captain America is very much capable of holding his own on his own film, and you can see that here. I just wish he had his his own story, and even though he's got the arc there, it just felt like it was kind of, we need to tie these loose ends. Let's chuck a character that people know and love to it. But overall, I think the film is entertaining. I don't think it's the best film in the MCU, clearly, but I do think you'll find more out of it than certain films that the MCU has released recently. Um, it does a good job in tying those loose ends. It does a decent job at getting you excited for what is to come. But overall, I just think it's a totally fine film, especially in this February release window where there's probably not much coming out. I think it'll make a lot of money, which is obviously why it's releasing in the cinemas and not a Disney Plus show or anything like that. But how they make the money, I've got no idea. But um, I think I am excited to see a little bit more of what Anthony Mackie will do as he helms that Cap role, and I think that's interesting. If you are going into this film, however, expecting like a lot on the Red Hulk, I'm sorry to say, don't go in with those expectations. But overall, I think I had a decent time. There were a couple of laughs here and there. There were a couple of emotional moments, but um, it just, I would have loved to see a story in regards to Cap itself. There's one intertwining section um, that comes into play, but yeah, as I said, it very much feels like an Incredible Hulk sequel. So if you like that film, which I did and still do, you're probably going to be very happy. It is like 17 years later, tying those loose ends up though. So whether it's too little, too late, that's on you. But if you have seen the film, comment below, let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you like our review, give a video a like, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.